The alien war fleet moved through space like dark shadows. Hundreds of massive ships, all heading toward one small blue planet. Inside the command ship, Commander Zarkoth sat on his throne. He was tall, with dark red skin and 4 arms. His yellow eyes stared at the screen showing Earth. He smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Look at this planet," he said to his officers. "So small. So weak." His second officer, Vex, nodded. "Our scouts watched them for 6 months, Commander. They have no weapons. No warships. They just talk about peace and make art." Zarkoth laughed. It was a cold, cruel sound. "Peace? What foolish creatures. Peace is for the weak. We will take their planet in 1 day." The other aliens in the room laughed too. They had conquered 12 planets before Earth. Every time it was easy. Every species they met was weaker than them. "Send them a message," Zarkoth ordered. "Tell them to surrender now." A young alien officer pressed some buttons. "Message sent, Commander." They waited. After a few minutes, a reply came from Earth. A human appeared on the screen. She was an old woman with gray hair and calm eyes. She wore a simple blue uniform. "This is Ambassador Chin of Earth," she said. Her voice was soft but clear. "We received your message. We ask you to leave our space peacefully. We do not want war." Zarkoth laughed again. "You do not want war? You think you have a choice?" Ambassador Chen's face remained calm. "This is your last warning. Leave now. Do not make us show you what we really are." The entire alien command room exploded with laughter. "Warning? From these weak humans? Your last warning?" Zarkoth said, still laughing. "No, human. This is your last warning. Surrender or die." Ambassador Chen looked sad. She closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, there was something different in her expression. Something old. Something tired. "We tried," she said quietly. "Remember that. We tried." The screen went black. Zarkoth waved his hand. "Ignore them. Vex, take a small attack group. Destroy their Mars colony first. Show them we are serious." "Yes, Commander." Vex saluted and left. 3 hours later, Vex ships reached Mars. The human colony there was small. Just a few thousand people. Some farms under domes. A small research station. "No defense ships," Vex reported. "No weapons detected. This will be easy." The alien ships fired. Explosions lit up the red planet. The human colony's shields broke quickly. Buildings fell. People ran. In 15 minutes it was over. The colony was destroyed. Vex smiled. "Mission complete, Commander." The humans didn't even fight back. They just ran like scared animals. "Good," Zarkoth said. "Now they know we are serious. Move the main fleet toward Earth. We attack at dawn." But then something strange happened. An old alien scientist named Dr. Krell walked up to Zarkoth. He looked worried. He held a data pad in his hands. "Commander, I found something. Something important." "What is it?" Zarkoth asked, annoyed. "I'm busy planning an invasion. It's about human history, sir. I finally decoded some of their old files. The ones we found 6 months ago." "Their history?" Zarkoth laughed. "Who cares about their past? We saw their present. They are weak." "But sir, these files show—" "Enough!" Zarkoth shouted. "I don't care what they were. I care what they are. And they are nothing." Dr. Krell stepped back, frightened. "Yes, Commander. I'm sorry." But as the old scientist walked away, he whispered to himself, "They don't understand. Humans aren't weak. They're hiding something." On Earth, in a secret underground room, world leaders sat around a large table. They all looked serious, set, but also determined. "Mars colony is gone," said the President of North America. 2,000 people dead. "They didn't listen to our warning," said the Premier of Asia. "We gave them a chance," said the Chancellor of Europe. "We tried peace first." Ambassador Chen stood at the head of the table. She placed her hand on a red button built into the table. "For 200 years we've been peaceful," she said. "We stopped fighting each other. We built a better world. We thought we'd never need the old ways again." The room was silent. "But they attacked our family. Our home." Her voice became harder, stronger. "They think we forgot how to fight. They think peace made us weak." She looked at each leader. "It's time to show them the truth. It's time to drop the mask." Every leader nodded. Ambassador Chin pressed the red button. All around Earth, hidden doors started opening. In deserts, under oceans, inside mountains, on the dark side of the moon. Places that hadn't been opened in 200 years. And from those hidden places something woke up. Something old. Something powerful. Something the aliens should have feared. The warriors of Earth were coming. And this time humanity wasn't pretending to be civilized anymore. 6 months earlier, the alien scout ship floated silently near Earth's moon. Inside, Dr. Krell studied his screens carefully. This was his job. He found new planets, new species, new worlds for the Empire to conquer. Interesting, he whispered, looking at the blue planet below. Very interesting. His assistant, a young alien named Mira, looked over his shoulder. What did you find, Doctor? A new species. They call themselves humans. The planet is called Earth. Are they dangerous? Mira asked. Dr. Krell smiled. Let me check their broadcasts. We'll see what kind of species they are. For 3 days, Dr. Krell watched Earth. He listened to their radio signals, watched their television, studied their internet. What he saw confused him. Humans were building things. Big cities with tall buildings. Roads connecting everything. But no weapons. No military bases that he could see. He watched them make art, paint pictures, create music, write stories. He saw them playing games, laughing, dancing, celebrating birthdays and holidays. Mira, look at this, Dr. Krell said. They're having a peace conference. 20 different human nations, all talking instead of fighting. Mira watched the screen. They negotiate? They don't just take what they want. Apparently not, Dr. Krell said, shaking his head. Strange species. He continued watching for weeks. He saw schools where children learned, hospitals where doctors healed people, parks where families walked together. Doctor, Mira said one day, I don't see any war. No battles. No conflict at all. Me neither, Dr. Krell replied. It's like they forgot how to fight. He sent his report to Commander Zarkoth. New planet found. Species called humans. Technologically advanced but peaceful. No visible military. Recommend easy conquest. But Dr. Krell made one mistake. He didn't look deep enough into human history. One night, while scanning Earth's old data storage, his computer found something. Encrypted files. Thousands of them. All marked with dates from 100 to 300 years ago. What are these? Dr. Krell wondered. He opened one file. It was labeled World War II to 1939 to 1945. The file was locked, encrypted with old human codes. Mira, can you decode this? Mira tried. It's difficult, Doctor. The encryption is complex. It will take weeks to break. Dr. Krell looked at the list of files. There were so many. World War I, Vietnam War, Cold War, Korean War, Napoleonic Wars. The word war appeared again and again. War? Dr. Krell said quietly. But we've been watching them for weeks. They don't fight anymore. He tried to open another file. A video labeled Nuclear Test 1945. Locked. Another file, Battle of Stalingrad Casualties. Locked. History of Human Weapons Development. Locked. Everything from Earth's past was locked away. Protected. Hidden. Should I keep trying to decode these? Mira asked. Dr. Krell thought about it. Then he looked at his screen showing modern Earth. Happy people. Peaceful cities. Art galleries. Children playing. No, he finally said. It's their past. Whatever they were before doesn't matter. Look at them now. They're harmless. Are you sure, Doctor? Yes, Dr. Krell said, closing the encrypted files. Their present tells us everything we need to know. They chose peace. They're weak. That was his second mistake. 2 months later, Commander Zarkoth arrived with the war fleet. Dr. Krell showed him everything. The peaceful cities. The art. The music. The families. See, Commander? No weapons. No warriors. Just people living soft lives. Zarkoth laughed. Soft lives make soft species. This will be easy. There are some old encrypted files, Dr. Krell mentioned. From their history. I couldn't decode them all. Their history? Zarkoth waved his hand. Who cares about yesterday? Today is what matters. And today they are weak. Dr. Krell nodded. But something bothered him. Why would humans encrypt their own history? Why hide their past so carefully? He should have asked these questions earlier. He should have worked harder to decode those files. Because inside those locked files was the truth. The real truth about humanity. Videos of humans fighting humans. Millions dying in terrible wars. Weapons that could destroy entire cities in seconds. Soldiers who never gave up. Battles that lasted years. Inside those files was proof that humans weren't naturally peaceful. They chose to be peaceful. They stopped fighting each other. But they never forgot how to fight. Those encrypted files held humanity's darkest moments. Their most violent history. Their capacity for total war. Files showing nuclear explosions that turned sand into glass. Battles where millions died. Weapons designed to kill, destroy, and conquer. And every single one of those files was carefully locked away. Hidden. Like a monster in a cage. Humans didn't delete their violent past. They just put it in a box and said, "We won't be this way anymore." But the box was never destroyed. It was always there. Waiting. Just in case they needed to open it again. Now, as Dr. Krell watched Commander Zarkoth prepare to attack Earth, he felt cold fear in his chest. He rushed to his computer. Started the decoding process on those old files. He had to know. He had to see what humans were hiding. The first file finally opened. World War II battle statistics. Dr. Krell read the numbers. His eyes went wide. 70 million dead, he whispered. 70 million humans, killed by other humans, in just 6 years. His hands shook as he opened another file. A video played. A huge mushroom cloud rising into the sky. An entire city destroyed in 1 second. "No," Dr. Krell whispered. "No, no, no." He ran toward the command deck. He had to warn Zarkoth. Had to tell him the truth. Humans weren't weak. They were predators pretending to be prey. And Zarkoth just attacked their home. The red button was pressed. All across Earth, alarms started ringing. Not loud alarms that people could hear. These were silent alarms. Secret alarms. Alarms that only certain people knew about. In the Sahara Desert, sand started moving. A huge metal door opened from beneath the ground. Something big was hiding under all that sand. In the Pacific Ocean, near the Mariana Trench, underwater lights turned on for the first time in 200 years. Massive structures rose from the ocean floor. On the dark side of Earth's moon, a mountain split in half. It wasn't a real mountain. It was a door. A door hiding something enormous. And in Switzerland, deep under the Alps, an old soldier opened his eyes. General James Park was 70 years old. He had gray hair and a tired face. He was sitting in a chair in a room deep underground. He hadn't worn his military uniform in 25 years. But today the alarm woke him up. He looked at the red light flashing on his wall. He knew what it meant. "So," he said quietly to himself, "they didn't listen." He stood up slowly. His old bones hurt. He walked to a locked cabinet and opened it. Inside was his uniform. Still clean. Still ready. He put it on carefully. It still fit. Then he pressed a button on his desk. "This is General Park. Code Alphabet. Wake everyone up. Wake them all up." All over the world, old soldiers like him were getting the same call. Men and women who fought in humanity's last war 200 years ago. The war when humans finally stopped fighting each other and chose peace. They thought they'd never wear their uniforms again. They were wrong. In the United Earth Council chamber, Ambassador Chen stood before the world leaders. "Mars colony is completely destroyed," she said. Her voice was steady, but her eyes were red. She had been crying. 2,347 people. All dead. The room was silent. These leaders had spent their entire lives working for peace. Building a better world. Making sure humans never fought each other again. But now, someone else was attacking them. The President of North America spoke first. "We gave them a warning. We tried to talk. They laughed at us," the Premier of Asia added. "They think we're weak." "Maybe we are," said the African Union leader quietly. "We haven't fought a war in 200 years. Our people don't even know what war looks like anymore." Ambassador Chen shook her head. "No, we're not weak. We're civilized. There's a difference." She walked to a large screen on the wall. She pressed a button. Images appeared. Old images from human history. Tanks rolling across fields. Ships firing cannons. Planes dropping bombs. Soldiers charging into battle. "This is what we were," Chen said. "For thousands of years we fought. We killed. We destroyed. We were very good at it." More images appeared. Cities in ruins. Battlefields covered with bodies. Nuclear explosions lighting up the sky. "We fought 2 world wars. We created weapons that could end all life on Earth. We almost destroyed ourselves." She paused. The room was completely quiet. "But then we made a choice. We decided to change. We put away our weapons. We chose peace over war. Art over destruction. Love over hate." She looked at each leader. "But we never forgot how to fight. We just chose not to. The screen changed. Now it showed current images. The hidden military bases opening. The warships emerging from the ocean. The moon base doors opening wide. For 200 years we kept our weapons in storage. Just in case. Just in case someone forced us to remember who we used to be. Ambassador Chen's voice became harder. Colder. They attacked our family. Our children. Our home. They forced us to open that box we locked away 200 years ago. She pressed the red button on the table again. It's time to show them what humanity really is. In orbit around Earth, alien scout ships were watching. One scout pilot named Jex was eating his lunch when his screen started beeping. What the? He put down his food and looked closer. Something was coming out of Earth. Multiple things. Big things. Commander Zarkoth, he shouted into his radio. Sir, you need to see this. What is it? Zarkoth's voice came back, annoyed. Ships, sir. Hundreds of ships. Coming from Earth. What? That's impossible. We scanned that planet. They have no military fleet. Sir, they're coming from underground? And from the ocean. And from their moon. How did we miss this? More and more human ships appeared. They were sleek. Fast. Covered in weapons. They had been hiding there the whole time. Waiting. Sleeping. Now they were awake. Jex watched his screen in shock. Commander, there are at least 500 warships. No. Wait. More are coming. 700. 900. Sir, where are they all coming from? On the command ship, Zarkoth stared at his own screens. His yellow eyes were wide with disbelief. This is impossible, he whispered. We watched them for months. They had nothing. Nothing. Dr. Krell ran onto the command deck, holding his data pad. Commander, I decoded the human history files. You have to listen. Not now. Zarkoth shouted. But sir, humans aren't peaceful. They just chose to be peaceful. They're warriors. They've been fighting for thousands of years. They know war better than we do. Zarkoth looked at the old scientist. What are you talking about? Dr. Krell showed him the data pad. Videos of human wars. Images of their weapons. Numbers showing how many humans died fighting other humans. They didn't become peaceful because they were weak, Dr. Krell said, his voice shaking. They became peaceful because they were tired of killing each other. But they never forgot how. On the screen, the human fleet formed a perfect battle formation. Over 1,000 ships, all moving together like one living creature. A message came from the human fleet. Ambassador Chen's face appeared on the screen. But she looked different now. Harder. Her eyes were like ice. You had your warning, she said. You chose to ignore it. You destroyed our Mars colony. Killed our people. She leaned closer to the camera. Now you'll learn why humans spent 200 years trying not to be what we used to be. The screen went black. And the human fleet started moving forward. The battle started near Jupiter's orbit. Commander Zarkoth positioned his fleet in attack formation. 1,000 alien warships against 1,000 human ships. Equal numbers, Zarkoth said, trying to sound confident. We've won every battle before. We'll win this too. But his hands were shaking. Vex, his second officer, noticed. Commander, should we wait for reinforcements? No. Zarkoth shouted. We attack now. Show these humans who rules this galaxy. The alien fleet moved forward. Their weapons powered up. Red targeting lights locked onto human ships. Fire. Zarkoth commanded. Thousands of energy blasts shot through space toward the human fleet. But something strange happened. The human ships didn't run. They didn't scatter in fear like other species did. Instead, they moved toward the alien fire. What are they doing? Vex shouted. That's suicide. The human ships dodged and weaved through the energy blasts. They moved fast. Faster than any ships the aliens had ever seen. Some human ships got hit. Explosions lit up the darkness of space. But the other ships didn't stop. They kept coming. They're not retreating, an alien officer yelled. Even after we destroyed some of their ships. Zarkoth stared at the screen. Why aren't they afraid? On the lead human warship, U.S. Defender, General James Park stood on the command deck. He watched 3 of his ships explode on the screen. 90 brave soldiers, dead in seconds. His face showed no emotion. He'd seen death before. Many times. Sir, his tactical officer said quietly, the Falcon and the Eagle are gone. I know, Park said. But their sacrifice bought us time. Continue the advance. The young officer looked confused. Sir, we lost 2 ships. Shouldn't we continue? Advance. Park's voice was ice cold. The human fleet kept moving forward. Faster. Closer. Fire all weapons, Park ordered. Show them what we brought. The human ships opened fire. The aliens expected the same kind of energy weapons they used. Simple blast cannons. Easy to dodge. They were wrong. Human ships fired missiles that split into 10 smaller missiles. Each small missile had its own brain, its own target. They fired railguns that shot metal at incredible speeds. Faster than light could travel in some cases. They fired laser beams that cut through alien shields like butter. They fired electromagnetic pulses that shut down alien systems. And they fired something the aliens had never seen before. Kinetic torpedoes. Simple chunks of metal accelerated to extreme speeds using Earth's gravity wells. No explosion. No energy signature. Just pure, unstoppable force. One kinetic torpedo hit an alien battleship. It went straight through the ship like a bullet through paper. The ship broke in half. What was that? Zarkoth screamed. What kind of weapon was that? I don't know. Vex shouted back. Our sensors didn't even detect it coming. Another alien ship exploded. Then another. Then 3 more. The human weapons were different. Strange. Unpredictable. But it wasn't just the weapons that confused the aliens. It was how humans fought. In normal space battles, ships stayed far apart. They shot at each other from a distance. Safe. Controlled. Humans didn't fight that way. Human ships flew between alien ships. They got close. Dangerously close. One human destroyer flew right past an alien carrier. So close they almost touched. As it passed, it fired all its guns directly into the carrier's side. The carrier exploded. They're insane, an alien pilot screamed. They're flying right into our formations. Another human ship rammed an alien cruiser on purpose. Both ships exploded. But the alien cruiser was bigger, more valuable. The humans traded one ship to destroy something more important. Why would they sacrifice themselves? Vex asked, his voice filled with horror. Dr. Krell, standing nearby, said quietly, because they're not fighting for glory. They're fighting for their home. For their families. He looked at the battle. Human ships were falling too. But for every human ship destroyed, they took 3 alien ships with them. We fight to conquer, Dr. Krell continued. They fight to protect. There's a difference. On the UES Defender, General Park received a message. Sir, the destroyer Phoenix is badly damaged. Captain Martinez says she's going to ram the alien command carrier. Park closed his eyes for a moment. Captain Martinez had a wife and 2 children back on Earth. Tell her. Park's voice broke slightly. Tell her we'll remember her sacrifice. Yes, sir. On his screen, Park watched the Phoenix turn toward the huge alien carrier. The ship was on fire, barely holding together. But Captain Martinez aimed it straight at the enemy. The Phoenix hit the carrier at full speed. The explosion was massive. Both ships were destroyed instantly. One human destroyer with 80 crew members. One alien carrier with 2,000 soldiers. The math was brutal. But it worked. Zarkoth watched his fleet falling apart. They had started with 1,000 ships. Now they had only 700. The humans started with 1,000. Now they had 800. How? Zarkoth whispered. How are we losing? Dr. Krell stepped forward. Because we've only fought weak species before. Species that ran when we attacked. Species that valued their lives over victory. He pointed at the human fleet. But humans? They've been fighting each other for thousands of years. Every war taught them something new. Every battle made them better. They know tactics we've never seen. They accept losses we would never take. Another alien ship exploded on the screen. They're not fighting like this is a conquest, Dr. Krell said. They're fighting like this is survival. Like this is the end of everything. Zarkoth looked at the old scientist. What are you saying? I'm saying we made a terrible mistake. We thought peace made them weak. But peace only made them choose not to fight. Dr. Krell pulled up the decoded files on his data pad. Videos of human wars. Images of battlefields. We woke up something that was sleeping. Something dangerous. Something that spent 200 years learning to control itself. On the screen, human ships moved in perfect formation. Every ship knew exactly where to be. Every captain trusted the others completely. They moved like wolves hunting together. Like they'd done this 1,000 times before. Because their ancestors had done this 1,000 times before. We didn't attack a peaceful species, Dr. Krell said quietly. We attacked warriors who were pretending to be civilians. Zarkotha's face turned pale. What have I done? The human fleet pressed forward. Relentless. unstoppable, unafraid. And the aliens finally understood the truth. Humans weren't weak. They were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. They just chose not to show it. Until now. The battle was over in 6 hours. Of the 1,000 alien ships, only 200 remained. They floated in space, damaged and broken. Commander Zarkatha's command ship was one of them. Half of it was destroyed. Life support was failing. His crew was dead or dying. A human boarding team broke through his ship's hull. Soldiers in white armor, carrying weapons that looked simple but deadly. Zarkoth tried to fight. He grabbed a weapon and fired at them. The human soldiers didn't even flinch. Their armor absorbed the shots. One soldier walked up to him calmly and took the weapon from his hands. "Come with us," the soldier said. "You're a prisoner now." Zarkoth wanted to resist, to fight, to die with honor. But he was too tired, too broken. They took him to a human ship. The human warship was clean. White walls, bright lights, everything organized and efficient. They brought Zarkoth to a small room. It had a table, 2 chairs, and a large screen on the wall. He sat down. His 4 arms were bound together. His yellow eyes looked at the floor. The door opened. General James Park walked in. He was old, but he moved with quiet strength. He sat across from Zarkoth. For a long moment, neither spoke. Finally, Zarkoth looked up. "Why didn't you show your weapons before? Why did you pretend to be weak?" Park leaned back in his chair. "We didn't pretend. We are peaceful. We just chose to be that way." "That makes no sense." Zarkoth shouted. "You have all these weapons. All these ships. Why hide them?" Park's expression didn't change. "Because we hoped we'd never need them again." He pressed a button. The screen on the wall turned on. "Let me show you something," Park said. The screen showed Earth. But not the modern, peaceful Earth that Zarkatha's scouts had seen. This was Earth from 300 years ago. Cities were burning. Armies fought in the streets. Bombs fell from the sky. "This is the First World War," Park said. "Humans fighting humans. 17 million dead in 4 years." Zarkoth watched, his eyes wide. The screen changed. More war. Bigger weapons. More death. "This is the Second World War. 70 million dead in 6 years. We created weapons that could destroy entire cities in 1 second." A video played. A massive mushroom cloud rising into the sky. A city disappeared beneath it. "We dropped 2 of these bombs on our own species," Park said quietly. 2 cities. Gone in seconds. Hundreds of thousands dead. Zarkoth couldn't speak. He just stared. More videos played. More wars. Korea. Vietnam. Iraq. Afghanistan. Dozens of smaller conflicts. "For thousands of years we fought each other," Park continued. "We got very good at it. Better than any species in this galaxy, probably." The screen showed soldiers fighting in jungles, deserts, cities, mountains. Humans adapted to every environment, every situation. We learned tactics from every war. We built better weapons after every battle. We studied our enemies. We became perfect killers. Park's voice was sad, heavy. "And then, 250 years ago, we almost destroyed ourselves completely." The screen showed Earth covered in nuclear fire. Cities burning. Oceans boiling. The sky dark with smoke. "The final war," Park said. "It lasted 3 days. 3 days of nuclear weapons. 3 days of pure destruction. 1 billion people died." Zarkoth felt cold. 1 billion? In 3 days? "Yes." Park nodded. "We brought ourselves to the edge of extinction. And then, we stopped." The screen changed. It showed humans pulling bodies from rubble, crying over dead families, staring at destroyed cities. "We looked at what we'd become," Park said. "We looked at what we'd done to ourselves, to our own planet, our own species. And we made a choice." The screen showed humans putting down weapons, destroying nuclear bombs, shutting down military bases. "We decided to change, to be better, to choose peace instead of war." Park looked directly at Zarkoth. "It wasn't easy. It took 50 years to change our culture. To teach our children that war was the last option, not the first. To build a world where nations talked instead of fought." The screen showed modern Earth. The peaceful cities. The art. The music. The families. "For 200 years we lived in peace. We didn't fight each other anymore. We became civilized." Zarkoth shook his head. "But you kept the weapons. You kept the ships. Why?" Park stood up. He walked to the window. Outside, damaged alien ships floated in space. "Because we're not stupid," he said. We know the galaxy is dangerous. We know peaceful doesn't mean safe. He turned back to Zarkoth. So we made a deal with ourselves. We would be peaceful. We would be civilized. We would be kind. But we would never forget how to fight. Just in case someone forced us to remember. Park's eyes were hard now. Cool. You forced us to remember. Zarkoth finally understood. Humans weren't weak. They were the opposite. They were warriors who chose not to fight. They were killers who chose to create instead. They were destroyers who chose to build. That choice made them more dangerous than any species he'd ever met. Because they knew both sides. They understood peace and war. Love and hate. Creation and destruction. We gave you a warning, Park said. We told you to leave. We tried to avoid this. You sat back down. But you laughed at us. You thought peace made us weak. You attacked our colony. Killed our people. Park leaned forward. You didn't attack a weak species. You attacked the most dangerous species in the galaxy. A species that fought itself for thousands of years and survived. A species that almost destroyed its own planet and came back stronger. He pressed another button. The screen showed the battle. Human ships fighting with precision. With tactics. With calculated sacrifice. You thought we forgot how to fight because we chose peace, Park said. But we never forgot. We just put the knowledge away. Locked it in a box. Hoped we'd never need it again. Park's voice became quieter. Sadder. You opened that box. You made us become what we used to be. What we spent 200 years trying not to be. Zarkoth looked at his bound hands. He thought about his empire. His fleet. His plans to conquer Earth. All destroyed. In 6 hours. What happens now? He asked quietly. Park stood up. Now. Now we decide if your species learns from this? Or if we show the galaxy why humans are the only species that ever scared themselves into choosing peace. He walked to the door. Think about that, Commander. Think about what it means to wake up a sleeping predator. The door closed. Zarkoth sat alone in the room, staring at the screen. It still showed Earth. Beautiful. Well, peaceful. But now he saw it differently. Now he saw the truth. Earth wasn't a planet of weak creatures. It was a planet of monsters who chose to be angels. And he had made them remember they were monsters first. 3 days after the battle, the rest of the alien empire arrived. 5,000 warships. The entire military force of Zarkoth's people. They came to rescue their commander and destroy Earth. But when they arrived, they found something unexpected. The human fleet was waiting for them. Not 1,000 ships this time. 5,000 human ships. All arranged in perfect battle formation. The alien High Chancellor, Vorimex, stared at his screen in disbelief. Where did they get so many ships? He whispered. His advisor, an old alien general, said quietly, they were always there. Hidden. Waiting. Vorimex opened a communication channel. This is High Chancellor Vorimex of the Krillian Empire. We demand the return of Commander Zarkoth and... A human voice interrupted him. This is General Park of the United Earth Forces. Your commander is alive. He is our prisoner. Release him immediately or we will destroy your planet. There was a pause. Then General Park spoke again. His voice was calm. Too calm. You have 5,000 ships. We have 5,000 ships. But you just arrived after traveling for 3 days. Your crews are tired. Your ships need fuel. Vorimex felt a chill run down his spine. We've been here for 3 days, Park continued. Resting. Repairing. Preparing. We have Earth's resources behind us. Unlimited fuel. Fresh crews. And we just destroyed 1,000 of your best ships in 6 hours. Another pause. So ask yourself, Chancellor. Do you really want to fight us? Or do you want to talk? Vorimex looked at his fleet. Then at the human fleet. They weren't moving. Just waiting. Patient. Confident. Like wolves watching prey. We'll talk, Vorimex said finally. The meeting happened on a neutral station between the two fleets. Vorimex, 3 of his advisors, and Dr. Krell came from the alien side. General Park, Ambassador Chin, and 2 human diplomats came from Earth. They sat across from each other at a long table. Vorimex spoke first. You destroyed our fleet. Captured our commander. What do you want? Our surrender? Ambassador Chin folded her hands on the table. We want you to understand something. She pressed a button. A hologram appeared above the table. It showed Earth. For 200 years we lived in peace. We built a civilization based on art, science, and cooperation. We were happy. The hologram changed. It showed the Mars colony before the attack. Children playing. Families working. people living normal lives. Then you came. You looked at us and saw weakness. You thought peace meant we couldn't fight. You thought civilization meant we forgot how to kill. The hologram showed the Mars colony being destroyed. Explosions. Destruction. You killed 2,000 of our people. Our families. Our children. Ambassador Chen's voice became harder. You forced us to become what we used to be. Warriors. Killers. Destroyers. The hologram showed the space battle. Human ships fighting with brutal efficiency. Vormex and his advisors watched in silence. We could destroy your empire, Chen said. We could hunt down every one of your ships. Conquer every one of your planets. We have the weapons. We have the will. She leaned forward. But we won't. Do you know why? Vormex shook his head slowly. Because that would make us what we used to be. And we spent 200 years becoming something better. General Park spoke now. We're not conquerors. We're defenders. We don't want your empire. We don't want your planets. We just want to be left alone. He pulled up another hologram. This one showed Zarkoth in his cell. Your commander is alive. We treated his wounds. Fed him. Showed him our history. He understands now what he did. What he woke up. Park looked directly at Vormex. We're sending him back to you. Along with all your surviving crew members. 4,000 prisoners. All alive. All healthy. The aliens looked shocked. You're releasing them? Vormex asked. Why? Ambassador Chen smiled sadly. Because mercy is stronger than revenge. Because forgiveness is harder than hate. Because that's who we chose to be. She stood up. But understand this. We're giving you one chance. One warning. Take your people. Return to your empire. And never attack Earth again. The hologram changed one more time. Now it showed something that made the aliens gasp. Thousands of human ships. Not 5,000. Not 10,000. 50,000 ships. All emerging from hidden bases across Earth's solar system. You see 5,000 ships in orbit, Park said. But we have 10 times that many in reserve. Hidden. Waiting. Always waiting. He stood up next to Ambassador Chen. We hoped we'd never need them. But you taught us an important lesson. The galaxy isn't peaceful. So we can't be either. Not completely. Ambassador Chen activated a communication system. This message is being broadcast to every species in the galaxy. Every civilization that has space travel. Everyone is hearing this right now. Vormex's eyes went wide. What are you doing? Giving them the same warning we gave you, Chen said. Her voice echoed through the galaxy. This is Ambassador Chen of Earth. Humanity. We are a peaceful species. We value art, science, family, and life. We want to be friends with the galaxy. We want to trade, share knowledge, and grow together. She paused. But if you attack us, if you threaten our people, if you force us to fight, you will see what we really are. You will face a species that fought itself for thousands of years and survived. A species that almost destroyed its own planet and came back stronger. We don't want war. But we're very, very good at it. This is your warning. The only warning you'll get. Leave humanity alone, or learn why we chose peace in the first place. The message ended. Across the galaxy, alien species watched the broadcast. They saw the battle footage. The human tactics. The brutal efficiency. They saw Earth's hidden fleet. 50,000 warships that appeared from nowhere. They saw Zarkotha's mighty empire, humbled in 6 hours. And they understood. One alien emperor turned to his advisors. Mark Earth as forbidden territory. No ships go near their space. Ever. Another alien queen said, send them a message. Tell them we want peace. Trade. Friendship. But never war. A third alien council made a simple decision. Put humans on the apex predator list. Do not engage unless absolutely necessary. The galaxy learned the lesson. Humans weren't weak. They were monsters wearing masks of civilization. And smart species don't wake up sleeping monsters. In the meeting room, Vormex stood up. We accept your terms. We will leave your space. We will never attack Earth again. He looked at Ambassador Chen with something like respect in his eyes. And, we're sorry. For what we did. For what we forced you to become. Ambassador Chen nodded. So are we. Because Earth didn't want to be warriors again. But now the galaxy knew the truth. And that truth would keep Earth safe. Forever. 3 months later, General James Park stood in his office, looking at his military uniform. It was clean, pressed, hanging on the wall like a museum piece. He wore civilian clothes now. A simple shirt and pants. No medals. No rank. His assistant knocked on the door. General, it's time. I'm not a general anymore, Park said quietly. Just James. Just a retired old man. Yes, sir. I mean Mr. Park. Park smiled sadly. He took one last look at the uniform. Then he turned off the lights and left the office. All across Earth the same thing was happening. Soldiers were going home. Warships were returning to their hidden bases. Weapons were being locked away again. The war was over. Now came the hard part. Choosing peace again. In New York, Captain Sarah Martinez's daughter ran to her at the spaceport. Mommy? You're home. Sarah picked up her little girl and held her tight. She was crying. Her ship, the Phoenix, was destroyed in the battle. But she survived. She ejected in an escape pod at the last second. I'm home, baby. I'm home. Her daughter looked up at her. Are you going back to space? Sarah shook her head. No. No more fighting. I'm staying here with you. Forever. Forever. All around the spaceport, families were reuniting. Soldiers hugging their parents. Wives kissing their husbands. Children seeing their fathers for the first time in months. They were warriors who defended Earth. Now they were just people again. Going back to normal life. But it wasn't easy. In Geneva, the World